Well, we're back in North Dakota in a picked cornfield. It's middle of October, and basically these birds are, they're roosting in some water, kind of connected to Devil's Lake here, just a couple, maybe a mile or so to the east here. And we're putting out a bunch of full-body decoys. We're hunting with my friend Rick Darling again, and Rick and I have known each other for years. Rick's guided out in this area over by Leeds, North Dakota, which is just west of Devil's Lake. And back when I guided waterfowl, we ended up running into each other quite a bit and became pretty good friends over the years. But it's going to be a treat getting back out here and hunting some ducks and geese.
This morning we're in a chopped cornfield. I haven't hunted it yet. It's been a pretty good bunch of ducks and Canadians in here, along with a few snow geese. And the wind's not quite as bad today, so it's about perfect. Probably blowing 15 miles an hour out of the north-northwest, and we're going to be set up in some A-frame blinds, and hopefully they want to come and join us this morning.
Well, the trap is set. Now just a matter of waiting. Haven't seen much moving here yet, but shouldn't be too long. Out front, out front.
Get them, guys! Good shooting, guys.
Got a few out of there.
Good girl, Moss. Here. Good girl. Here. Yes. Back.
So the whole key to this is scouting. I mean, you got to put in the miles, knock on some doors, and put your decoys where those birds want to go. Okay, if you're not doing that, you're hunting birds the hard way. And there's times where you can do a lot of scouting and not find a good field, or maybe don't get permission to hunt where you really want to hunt, and that's part of hunting. I mean, you have to get thick skin. You're going to get told no at times, and you just have to knock on the next door, make the next phone call, and that person might tell you yes. So you just have to be persistent, and you have to work hard at the scouting. And I always tell people, if you come out to North Dakota to hunt, spend at least as much time scouting as you do hunting. Okay, that's the most important thing, is setting up your decoys where the birds want to be. And obviously, if you do that, it doesn't necessarily take a lot of equipment or a lot of gear. I mean, Rick has a lot of decoys. That's what he does for a living, is he guides waterfowl hunters. I have a lot of decoys. I mean, I live in North Dakota in Devil's Lake. I guided for many years, and accumulated a lot of equipment and stuff over the years. But if you don't have all that stuff, if you just have even 3 or 4 dozen decoys, especially they're just Canada goose decoys, you could experience a lot of quality hunting. I know college kids that go to school in Grand Forks, and they'll drive out on the weekends and hunt. I mean, it isn't necessarily a deal where you have to have the latest and greatest gear. You just have to put in the miles and put in the time and just get out there and do it. You look at duck hunting over water, think of the ducks that you can kill over 2 dozen decoys if you do some scouting and you're where those birds want to be. And so that's what's really neat about this, is that you can come out here and put in a little bit of time and effort and find some quality hunting experiences.
Here comes a single, guys. Single coming in here. Go, guys, go!
Yeah, that was cool. That was pretty. That bird just locked right up.
Ducks out front, ducks out front. Go, go!
Single duck. Right here, right here. Oh, those snuck in. That was pretty.
This year is kind of the exact opposite of what we had last year. You know, last spring we came in, we were really dry. The potholes were all dried up, which really affected the duck, habitat and the production. And you reverse it to this year, and it's the exact opposite. We were at a real wet spring. It was great for, the reproduction of ducks, good habitat. But then once we hit midsummer, it really dried up again. I mean, it's not a drought situation, but it's dried up. There's still plenty of potholes around, but it's kind of the tale of 2 years there. But the good thing about this year is, again, is those potholes are holding water, so the ducks aren't as concentrated as they were last year. It scatters the birds out, and there's more opportunities around, to hunt, rather than all the birds concentrated, which in case then concentrates the hunters. Where this year, when they got more water and the potholes are full, there's plenty of birds, and it scatters the hunters out, which is good.
Or pintails.
Coming in front. Get them, guys.
Boy, those are some beautiful pintails in that flock. Wow, that was nice. That was nice. So the limit on ducks is 6 ducks this year in North Dakota, but the thing about it is you only shoot 2 hens out of the 5 ducks that can be mallards, and you can only shoot 1 pintail, and so a lot of times, you shoot a couple pintails, well, then you just sit back and enjoy it. That isn't all bad, just watching birds come in. I mean, in my mind, there's nothing more beautiful or graceful than just a nice bull sprig pintail, where they've got just the white chest and the beautiful rust on the top of their head. It's just a beautiful bird. And they are so graceful. They're just so slender and beautiful in the air. And so, you know what, even if you can't necessarily pull the trigger on them, it's still a great display. It's a great show to watch. Pintails.
Pintails, let them go, let them go, let them go. Go, guys, go!
All right, that was pretty. That was pretty. That was nice. It's interesting, you go to different parts of the country and there's a lot of different hunting styles. We've been in places in Arkansas, for example, and further south where, people would hunt out of permanent blinds and they would just leave their decoy spreads out, and they're basically banking on new waves of birds coming into the area every day. In those particular situations, calling was really important. If you could blow on a duck call, you had a big advantage, and there's certain places where when you get that far south, for example, where spitting wing decoys don't work. The birds have just seen it too many times. And you get up in North Dakota, and I think the big appeal when you go further north, especially when you're earlier in the season, is you get a lot of birds that maybe haven't seen a lot of decoy spreads yet. There's a lot of different factors that, dictate how and where you set up decoys and what type of concealment that you use. But what makes it so much fun for me is that that's always evolving. You figure out a few things and the birds figure you out. And then you figure out a few more things and the birds change again, and that can change from year to year. It changes throughout the year. And it's fun to just watch some of these different trends develop and then kind of peak and then decline. You know, you look at layout blinds, you know, 10 years ago, that was probably one of the hottest selling things in the waterfowl industry. Now it's the A-frame blinds. You know, you look at the full body decoys, and then windsocks and silhouettes have made a comeback. And, you know, and then there's years where you have a lot of juvenile birds, and, you know, flyers and motion decoys are really deadly. It is always changing in the waterfowl world. Go, guys, go! Oh yeah, they're coming this way.
Shoot the single, shoot the single. Good shot, guys. You know, back when I first started, you know, in the guiding business, you know, the big thing was that everybody hunted snow geese. You wanted to, you know, kill snow geese. And now the last, you know, 10, 15 years, it's kind of went to, you know, everybody wants to hunt ducks. But you still kind of use the same, you know, decoy scenarios for hunting ducks as you do hunting geese. I always set a big spread of, you know, early on it's mainly Canada geese mixed in with field duck decoys, but as the season progresses and the snow geese start showing up, the ducks get tuned into that Canadian spread with a few spinners going and a few duck decoys thrown in there. Like I said, they get conditioned to that. So once you see that happening a little bit where they're bouncing off that spread and not real comfortable coming in, then I go with the snow goose spreads, you know, set several hundred snow goose decoys out with the Canadas and the duck decoys, and then I add more spinning wing decoys. Shoot them ducks right above you guys. Good job, boys.
That is pretty.
You know, I've been in the business since our mid-90s and have built some great relationships. I mean, I have guys that have come back for, you know, well over 20 years. And, you know, it's not even customers anymore, or clients, it's friends, and we keep in touch all year long. If we're not talking hunting, we're talking fishing or family. And that's what it's gotten to be, is just like a close-knit family for the groups that I got coming. It's probably 95% of my clientele is all return customers, and we've all become, you know, really close friends and family. And it's, you know, the camaraderie part of it. Yeah, everybody likes to come out and we all like to shoot our guns and everything, but, you know, if we have days where it's a little slower, it's still that camaraderie with friends sitting in a duck hunting blind. That's where the fun is at. Three ducks real low here. Right out in front, guys. Get them, guys. Right here. There, good job.
Hey. That was cool. Never get tired of seeing that. Never.
A girl. Here.
You know, so our waterfowl seasons, well, our Canada goose season, you know, that starts in the middle of August already. But, you know, our traditional waterfowl seasons where people are hunting ducks and geese, you know, it starts early October. And early on, you know, North Dakota has a lot of ducks. You know, it's not like we have to wait for any ducks to come out of Canada. I mean, a lot of the ducks that people are hunting further down the flyway, they're coming from right here. And so early on, there's a lot of mallards, pintails, widgeon, and you get later on in the year, you know, a few more divers show up, and then the snow geese show up. And the snow geese, I mean, it might be middle of October, end of October. I mean, in some years it was early November when they finally built up in big numbers. This year I saw snow geese right out of the gate in early October, which was kind of early and almost unusual. You know, so then you got your giant Canada geese that nest in North Dakota, and there's pretty good numbers of those. Then you've got more greater Canada geese and a lot of lesser Canada geese that come in. And so there's a lot of birds that breed and nest here, and there's a lot of birds that come through here and end up here, you know, from further north. You know, we even get a few speckle bellies. It's like if you go further west, you see more speckle bellies, but it's kind of neat to watch that migration. And what's interesting is, like over in Devil's Lake area where we're hunting today, I would say maybe 50% of the lesser snow geese population's at blue phase. You get further west out by the Missouri River, even in eastern Montana, and that percentage drops way off, where they're mostly white birds, just a smaller percentage of blue phase. And so it's almost like different parts of the state get different lines of birds that come out of Canada. But North Dakota is a special place. You look at the number of birds that nest here and breed here, then the birds that come into here and end up here and fly through here. You know, there's a lot of different things happening, but you'll see that migration happening. And I guess too, how you like to hunt and what you like to hunt will kind of dictate, you know, when you want to plan your hunt, in the sense that if you're looking for mallards, you might want to come early in the year or late in the year. If you're looking for snow geese, you know, you're going to want to come later in the year. If you're looking for giant Canada geese, you might want to come during the early Canada goose season, you know, or end up on the Missouri River in November and December, you know. And so the neat thing about North Dakota is that from middle of August until the very end of December, there are very viable waterfowl hunting opportunities for ducks and geese.
Go guys, go on them greenheads. Good girl, Moss. Come on. Good girl. Here. Just a mid-morning update here from the blind, and here's the whole key to the morning right here. When you're hunting both ducks and geese, as we all know, the geese absolutely don't like the spinning wing decoys. So you have those on a remote that you can turn on and off. And on this one here, on the Lucky Duck 2.0, it's got 3 different sequences here, A, B, and P, and you can have your ducks on one, your flapping wing goose decoys on one, or if you're in the water, you can also turn your water decoy, motion decoys off. But it's absolutely the key to, you know, our morning this morning when we got, you know, ducks working, we can have the spinners going, and then if there's geese coming, we can turn the spinners off, and you can program as many decoys as you want on this here. I have over 20 of them. We don't have that many out today, but all programmed with the same remote. You can just on and off, and that way you can keep your spinning wing decoys going and always have the opportunity when geese are coming to turn them off. Get them, guys! Good job.
Right here, to your left.
Take them out the back, guys.
Yeah, it's been a fun morning. We've had a mixed bag. We've had Canada geese, some snow geese, some mallards. Been keeping us busy. rain, boys. That was nice. Boy, they worked and worked and worked. That was cool, huh?